6, straight out of the Steel City. I want to say a bunch of stuff about steel, but I think I'm going to fall flat in my face trying to do it. So let's just give out some love to Pittsburgh, because I know it's the Staff Sergeant's place where Steel Plaza Podcast is coming from. But today it's been hijacked. It's down in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the show. The tunes we've got for you today are truly great, and if you haven't turned them up, turn them right the F up from this point in time. What we've got coming up now is a band called V for Villains. Now, they're out of Chicago, Illinois. Chicago for me means two things. It means Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, which is nothing at all to do with this show. So let's move right on past that. And the next thing it means is Wax Trax Recordings. People know their industrial music history, but I sure as hell do. I'm just going to rattle off some names for you. We've got Ministry, KMFDM came down Chicago way for a while. We've got the Revolting Cocks, Front 242, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. Seriously, guys, Chicago was just a hotbed for great kind of crossover and hard kind of electronic and guitar-driven music. Some of it atmospheric, some of it really belligerent in your face. So V is for Villains it was started by a guy, Nicholas Santiago, who had some serious health issues, and it was either let those consume him or rise above and absolutely get into the tunes. So one thing that really excites me about this, he lists some of the band's loves and influences, and we're talking Nine Inch Nails, The Prodigy, one of my all-time favorites, Depeche Mode. Also on that list, a little band called Pendulum. Now, they do some amazing drum and bass stuff, and I don't know if you guys know this, but they're out of Perth in Western Australia as well. A little secret, and it ties in nicely with the Wax Trax thing, a little secret about the burgeoning drum and bass scene that came out of Perth was a lot of those guys played in harder bands and then got a little bit older and found their way to electronic music. And I think drum and bass at the time was a fairly hard-hitting, fairly hectic form of electronic music. So yeah, for me to see Pendulum in the list of stuff that V for Villains love and are all about is super cool. So yeah, look, I think when you come from a city that's so rich in a particular form, I mean, I find I feel similar with the death metal out of Perth and certainly out of Australia. We do some pretty amazing stuff down here, pretty hard stuff. Right since the worldwide scene, as far as death metal was born, I think you've got a pretty huge responsibility to deliver some flavour, and V for Villains certainly delivered that flavour in spades. We used to have a kind of a goth club down here in Perth called Dominion, and it was at a big dance hall, like a big ballroom dancing kind of dance hall. So wooden floorboards, massive high ceilings, and what it did is it gave both the occasional live band and the DJ sets this cavernous space to sit in. And when I listened to V for Villains Rise Above, I cranked it in my car and I couldn't help but think to myself, seeing these guys live in that space with when his voice hits really hard, hearing it in a big reverberant space, I think would absolutely kick ass. So again, probably shouldn't get too carried away with myself and talking too much. I'm going to straight away throw you guys to an electronic rock carnival noir band out of Chicago, Illinois. This is V for Villains with their track Rise Above.
Consumed with the notion that there's something dreadful wrong.
Welcome back, guys. You're with your grouchy friend. It's Brad from the death metal band Grouch out of Perth, Western Australia. You just heard V for Villains with their amazing track Rise Above, which is, they're bringing some fantastic flavor out of Chicago, Illinois, and it's awesome to hear that the underground is still seething away and spitting out all kinds of stuff up that way. Next of all, we're looking at a band called Long Pig, and they're out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. As far as things I know about Oklahoma, there's a musical. There's also a basketball team. I'm really sorry. My knowledge of the States is defined entirely by music and basketball. But hey, this tune, guys, is a real builder. It is absolutely top notch. All of the bands we played on this episode of Darkest Corners of the World are all, man, I would kill to see all these guys live. Long Pig in particular, look, I've gone had me a little listen, and these guys do some amazing stuff. These guys in particular, if this song is anything to go by, catching them live would be something special. So the band's made up of Mario, Jason, Buddy, Bones. I got a soft spot for that. My dad's nickname for me when I was a skinny little kid was Bones. We've got George. We've got Rodney Rogers. Now, again, I'm just going to do the basketball thing because I can. Rodney Rogers was, I think back in the 90s, a basketball player, maybe for the Denver Nuggets or someone. Totally useless trivia, everyone. You're welcome. But yeah, Rodney Rogers on the percussion in this particular song. Again, if I'm wrong, got the wrong instrument, I'm sorry, guys, but sounds like there's like a guiro, like a wooden fish being used. It's a really, really cool atmospheric song, and after a certain point in time, you're going to get your damn heads ripped off. You're going to get your heads ripped off in a way that only the Midwest of the United States seems to be kind of wound up and angry enough to achieve. There's certainly some amazing metal that's come out of some far-flung places in the Midwest. I think growing up in small towns, growing up with maybe, I don't like to overgeneralize, but surrounded by belief systems and stuff that can maybe be a little bit oppressive still in this day and age. I'm all good with a good strong set of morals, but I think in a more secular universal sense, there's some strong sets of morals out there that maybe beat down on some of these guys and make the metalheads particularly aggressive. Anyway, they're not going to disappoint you. Trust me on this. Turn this song up. Enjoy the atmosphere it creates, and then, like I said, I don't want to spoil it too much, but a certain amount of minutes in time, your head's going to get ripped off and you are going to thank me afterwards. Seeing these guys live in a big room, nice cavernous space, killer bass sound from Mario in this song. And again, in terms of arrangement, they're all very patient. They sit back, they wait for their time to strike, and when they strike, Long Pig's Wrong One is just going to tear you up. Guys, I'm gushing. It's probably a little bit too much, but I do dig this song. Okay, this is Long Pig out of Oklahoma City. Turn this up, people. This is their song, Wrong One.